Hey friends, Sherry here, and I'm so glad you could join me today. First of all, it's been a while since I've made a process video, so I'm excited to be back. And secondly, if you hear construction noise in the background, I apologize. I've got some workers here. So let's get started. Today's layout, I just got back from vacation and I had taken these photos of our children at the beach, and I just love these photos. And I had signed up for Gossamer Blue's Pretty Paper class. I'll be honest, the reason I signed up for the class, I thought the papers were beautiful, of course, but the stamps just blew me away. I was so excited about the stamps. So when I got home and printed these photos and saw the Gossamer Blue kit on my desk, I just realized it was a perfect match. So, of course, I want the photos to be the star as always. So I wanted to keep it clean and light and airy, especially since it's beach photos. So I started playing around with the 6x6 papers that came in the kit, in the class kit. And let's see. I was playing around with this. I knew that I wanted to have this paper surrounding the photo, so I decided to cut little strips of that's one way to make your paper stretch a little farther. Obviously, I'm not back the whole thing, so I just decided that I would cut the paper so that there were 3 rows of the little sunshine. And this is basically how the layout got started. So here, there's another beautiful blue paper in there that has some lovely little sayings about, let me grab that real quick. Well, you can't read that. It says, live in the sunshine, swim in the sea, drink the wild air. It's just so beautiful. I loved the soft script of that. It just plays so well into the softness of the beach photos. Here I am. I initially thought I would do kind of an offset thing and maybe work the title on the top and bottom of the layout. But thankfully, once I moved that down, I realized I loved the way that was just a nice, pretty, uniform grid, and decided to go in that direction instead, and I'm so happy I did. Here, I had received this gorgeous poolside crepe paper, pattern paper from my Hip Kit Club, and the color of that wood grain sandy look just plays so well off of that Gossamer Blue paper. But I love that paper so much, of course, I cut out the center of it because I'm sure I will be using it for other layouts. So here I am officially adhering everything down, and now it's time to play with the stamps. And of course, as I was stamping, I thought my camera was on, and it wasn't. But I basically show you what to do. Here, obviously, you can see I masked off a portion of that because I didn't want to do the whole sun up there because it kind of threw the balance off. So I masked that off, and just to be sure that I would get of course I stamped it off a couple of times first. I also used that little push pad behind it just to ensure that I would get a clear image of that gorgeous sun stamp. And I think, let's see, I'm using a Stampin' Up, it's called More Mustard or something. It was just the perfect shade, so I was really happy to find that in my stash. I was trying to use another chalk ink, a bisque, but it just wasn't inky enough, so luckily I had this Stampin' Up stamp pad that I was able to use, and I just really love how that turned out. So here I'm stamping the summertime, and we had such a lovely vacation. very relaxing. It was our big family vacation. There were about, I think, 24 of us that went. A few couldn't show up, but we had such a lovely time, and I'm sad that it's over, but anyway, I'll be scrapping the memories for several weeks to come, I'm sure. Here I'm taking my anti-static tool and rubbing that over just because I'm going to stamp the word sweet in the title and use some Versamark and some Zing embossing powder. And obviously I didn't want the embossing powder to end up adhering where the sun stamp was, so this works out really well. I just love the way the embossing powder gives a nice little raised image. It just gives it a little more dimension. Obviously this layout isn't super layered or anything. Sometimes I like a few layers, but to be honest, I try to keep my layouts relatively flat because otherwise my albums are bursting at the seam with really thick layouts. Here obviously I am heat setting the embossing powder off the camera, so I apologize for nothing going on here. There you can see all the assortment of things I have on my desk. My TV remote, which wasn't even on, but anyway, there's the pretty sweet embossed, and here I had cut a little tag from that gorgeous Gossamer blue paper, and I'm playing with these Evilicious puffy stickers. When I ordered my Gossamer blue kit, class kit, I just happened to go to their store and saw these Evilicious puffy stickers, and so I went ahead and included that in my order, and I'm so glad I did because they are just perfect for this. Sometimes I get so excited when everything's aligned perfectly, and it just all works out. And here I'm just kind of playing around with the puffy stickers, trying to figure out exactly where I want to place them. I had also stamped off camera down at the bottom OBA for Orange Beach, Alabama, and the date. And there's also a relax stamp in the kit, and I wanted to include that. So here I am, just of course testing it to make sure that it stamps nicely. And this is such a simple layout, but I think it's just so pretty. Is that bad for me to say that I think it's so pretty? No, of course not. It is pretty, but again, playing around with the puffy stickers, and end up using just a real soft blue little circle just to kind of draw your eye towards the word relax. And I'm thinking it's done, but then I decide that I feel like it needs a little something else, so I end up taking the layout over to my sewing machine and stitching 3 rows of a pale blue stitching at the top, and then 1 little row let's see, underneath next to relax, just to kind of add a little bit of texture and just a little bit more interest and dimension to the layout. Here I don't know why I struggled putting down 2 puffy sticker hearts. I couldn't decide if it was taking away from the photo, just because I love the photo so much and I didn't want to muck it up, but I figured since that was so much negative space that it wouldn't hurt to stick just 2 little puffy stickers in there. Initially I had put one on a pop-up dot, but then decided I didn't like that, so I just took it off and layered the puffy stickers really closely together. There you can see where I've stitched and adding my little tag back, and that's basically it. There's a few close-ups of the layout, and that's about it. Thanks so much for joining me today. I appreciate you viewing and your comments. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for stopping by.